Hello, I'm Mark Shumbera, Director of Business Development for AlphaSpace. I'm very pleased to have this opportunity to introduce you to the MISSE External Orbital Testing Platform. Our platform is very flexible and able to accommodate experiments ranging from simple material exposure to electronic system testing and even life science experiments. For those of you who may not be familiar with MISSE, it's a commercially owned and operated technology testing and science facility installed externally on the ISS truss. We have 2 launches to the facility and 2 return flights every year. Customer hardware is integrated into modular carriers that accommodate a wide range of experiments, with the integration work performed at our ground facility in Houston. Testing on orbit typically lasts 6 months, but other test durations are also available. All customers get their experiments back after the mission. AlphaSpace owns and operates MISSE under NASA and ISS National Lab agreements. We are an ISS National Lab implementation partner and a commercialization partner. Virtually any organization can utilize MISSE: NASA, other federal agencies, universities, nonprofits, and of course commercial companies. We have contracting options available that fit every need. The MISSE facility was installed on ISS in April of 2018, and in about 2.5 years there have been 5 missions that have provided on-orbit testing services for 780 experiments. Our next mission, MISSE 14, will launch in February 2021 with 4 experiment carriers. The MISSE 14 mission will also include a MISSE avionics upgrade, which will set the stage for expanded experiment support. AlphaSpace's business is to provide space testing as a service, which enables our customers to focus entirely on getting results. We do all the rest. After delivering experiment hardware to us, AlphaSpace integrates the experiment into one of our MISSE carriers, completes all NASA documentation and reviews, obtains flight certification, secures a launch, performs on-orbit operations, and then returns the experiment to the customer after the flight. We try to make it very easy to test in space. All customer experiments are flown in modular MISSE science carriers. The current carriers accommodate a really wide range of hardware and experiments, including electronics, materials, paints, mechanisms, and even solar cells. Simple biology investigations, primarily related to extremophiles, have also been conducted in our current MISSE carriers. Experiments that require power, data, and control use a MISSE experiment computer. The experiment computer conforms to virtually any experiment configuration and programming language. Power is available as a 28-volt DC feed or as an on-orbit 3-volt and 24-volt DC adjustable power feed. Data and communication interfaces include RS-422 or 485, USB 2.0, as well as Ethernet, CAN, and a serial data interface. All interfaces are controlled from the AlphaSpace POC, enabling real-time experiment changes while on orbit. Maybe of particular interest to the attendees of this conference is our ongoing development of the BioMISSE carrier. BioMISSE is a pressurized, environmentally controlled carrier being built exclusively for life science experiments. It leverages the extensive investment made to date in life science experiment facilities and modules that are already in use on the International Space Station. Life science experiment modules made for facilities such as the NASA Bioculture Facility, Space Tango's Tango Lab, and ESA's BioLab modules will all be compatible with BioMISSE. Very few, if any, complex life science experiments have been performed in the external space environment that's unprotected from radiation shielding. Yet in the near future, we'll be exploring the Moon and possibly Mars for extended periods of time. Much of that time will be spent outside of shielded habitation modules. A lot of effort has gone into trying to replicate on the ground the unshielded space radiation environment. However, no ground facility can replicate the constant, long-term, simultaneous exposure to a wide range of ionizing and non-ionizing energies. BioMISSE will, for the first time, enable life science experiments in the actual external space environment. The BioMISSE carrier is based on a straightforward concept. It's a pressurized, environmentally controlled container that provides a controlled environment and support utilities for one to several life science experiment modules that use existing internal experiment facilities. In essence, BioMISSE replicates on a much smaller scale several life science experiment facilities that are currently inside ISS. As an example, one BioMISSE carrier could contain and enable operations of several of Space Tango's Cube Labs, for example, along with one or more of NASA bioculture modules. A BioMISSE mission starts with the integration and launch of an experiment module from one of several ISS implementation partners, NASA, or any international partner. For example, a customer could choose to use Space Tango's Cube Lab for their experiment. The experiment module would be launched and placed in its associated facility on the ISS to start the investigation. Once stabilized, the crew would remove the module from the ISS internal facility and install it in BioMISSE, plugging it into the BioMISSE power, data, and control interfaces. BioMISSE would be sealed, pressurized, and transferred external through the Japanese airlock, just like all MISSE carriers. It would then be robotically installed on the MISSE external flight facility, where it will operate for the appropriate amount of time. When the experiment is complete, ISS Robotics transfers the BioMISSE carrier back inside the ISS, where the crew takes the experiment module out of BioMISSE and reinstalls it into the internal ISS facility for continuation or termination. The experiment would then be returned to the PI under existing processes used by the owner of the experiment module. In summary, AlphaSpace's current turnkey external space testing service can easily support a wide variety of experiments, even simple biology investigations. Our future BioMISSE carrier will enable customers to use existing ISS life science facility modules to conduct complex life science experiments in the unshielded space environment, opening a whole new paradigm for space life science investigations. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you about AlphaSpace's MISSE platform. Please contact me, Mark Shumbera, if you have any questions or would like to obtain more information about MISSE or BioMISSE, or if you have an experiment that you would like to fly on our platform.